That is a massive contrast from what I think most people imagine their retirements are going to be like. After a while, I realized that I really wanted something more. Sitting on a beach just didn't cut it anymore. G'day guys, in this video I want to talk about the retirement trap because it's a big problem. I've been really fortunate enough to have earned passive income for the last 10 years. So it's really enabled me to have enough free time during my days to really think about what retirement looks like. But of course, in addition to having free time, I really needed to have enough savings to get to the point where I could say, you know, I don't need to even have this passive income coming in. I can just live off my savings forever. And I've gotten really close to that point. Maybe I'm already at that point, I don't know. But either way, it's really brought retiring early into sharp focus for me. So in this video, I really want to share what I've learned, but I also want to share some of the things that some of the best psychologists in the world have suggested, well, one in particular, and really talk about how you can make sure that you don't fall into the retirement trap. Because fundamentally, we've got a big problem, guys. Did you know that most people over the age of 65 watch on average 6.5 hours of TV per day? That would be okay, maybe, if they really enjoyed watching the TV, but they don't. One study showed that they actually enjoy TV less than people below the age of 65. But even worse, they feel isolated and depressed. And that is a massive contrast from what I think most people imagine their retirements are going to be like. Most people, and I don't know your circumstances, but you do, most people have this image of where they're going to be in retirement. You know, perhaps they're going to do some travel. Perhaps they're going to connect with their community. Perhaps they're going to see their grandkids more and play some more golf or do some more gardening. The reality though is really vastly different. And I think that's what the retirement trap is all about. That's why understanding what I'm about to talk about is so important. So there's a thing called the FIRE movement that you've maybe heard of. And it stands for Financial Independent Retire Early. And the idea of it is wonderful, but the reality of it, I think, is really quite different for a lot of people. And it really helps us to understand what is going wrong. So, for example, in the FIRE movement, the idea is that you save as much as you can, as quickly as you can. So you live well below your means and work your ass off, save like a bastard, and you have all of this money within a really short period of time that you can live this frugal life forever, potentially. Well, the problem is a lot of people get to the end of this time when they can retire and they discover that what's important to them is connection and meaning in their lives. And that's all gone because in their work, they were able to hang out with people at work and they had connection there. But they also derived a lot of meaning potentially from their work, even if they didn't enjoy their work. Viktor Frankl, the guy that wrote Man's Search for Meaning, and I'll leave a link below, talks about this. And he was able to help many people in the concentration camps to survive the Holocaust by finding meaning and connection in their lives. And I really feel like we can learn from that, not only just in retirement, but just in our lives in general, because what it means is that we can live a more fulfilled life now, but also into retirement. But how do you do this, right? Well, for me, I was lucky enough 30 years ago to be able to take what I call mini retirement. And I used to go down to Mexico from Canada. I was living in Canada at the time, and I worked as a waiter in the summers and went down into Mexico and partied and traveled and sat on beaches and read books and did all the things that you would think are going to give you peak happiness. But after a while, I realized that I really wanted something more. Sitting on a beach just didn't cut it anymore. I needed to really find things that connected me with people for longer term. You know, I wasn't with a group of people for very long. There were travelers coming through and you were just meeting new people all the time, which was great. But after a while, you really wanted to build deeper connections with these people, and you really wanted to do something with more meaning. So I think in retirement, or even before retirement, we really need to think about what gives us meaning. And mini retirements actually is a really awesome way to test drive some of these things that we think are going to give us this meaning. But I would recommend just being a little bit more mindful of really test driving what it's going to be like to be retired, so that you can change your life, so that this moment in time that you have doesn't just become a moment in time in isolation, that you can actually transfer some of those things over into your life and into retirement, whatever that becomes for you. Because at the end of the day, if you enjoy your work before retirement, you might actually decide that you don't ever want to retire, and you just end up working for as long as you want. Ironically enough, you're probably going to earn more money by being happy and having meaning in your life than if you didn't. So guys, I hope you found this helpful. And if you didn't realize already, this is how I get my meaning and a lot of my connection as well. And I really love your comments, and I love your likes and subscribes. So thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.